Welcome back to Power Panel 365. This is your host, Star Coates. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to lead us into prayer. Dear Father God, thank you for all of us being here today together. May you give us the eyes, the ears, and the heart to receive this message. In Jesus' name, amen. Good morning to everyone. And then those that are listening, good evening or afternoon or, whichever one, afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Today we're going to talk about Genesis 6 and 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now, a lot of people don't realize or know that scripture is very true in what it says. So today I found you guys a little bit of information as far as the giants go, and where they have been found even after the days of Noah. So, in Adams, Ohio, a giant was found. And I guess apparently Ohio is a breeding ground for findings of these giants. The next one, this one was uncovered. It says a Stone Age skeleton and around a rock shelter in Libya's Sahara Desert. So this is all the way in Libya. So not just here in the United States, but in other places of the world, they have been discovered and been found. Now I'm going to read you guys an older article as well. It says, skeleton of person 10 feet tall found. London, April 2nd. According to the Dispatch Public here today, the skeleton of a person who had been apparently 10 feet tall has been found at Dysart County, Louth, Ireland. So all the way in Ireland. The skeleton was unearthed with two others supposed to have been buried prehistoric times. The three persons had been interred in separate graves, all incised with stones. The skull of a giant measured, I want to say this, it might say 15 inches, or inches to something of the crown of the head to the chin. Someone might ask, was there any other giants found in any other places? And I'm going to say yes. The San Antonio Express wrote, beach giants skull unearthed by WPA workers near Victoria, believed to be the largest ever found in the world. Normal head also found. That Texas had a giant on the beach. In the long ago appears probable from the large skull recently unearthed in the mound in Victoria County, believed to be the largest human skull ever found in the United States and possibly in the world. Now I'm just going to read that top part to you guys. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, and I hope you guys can see it pretty well, especially those of you that are listening. Anyway, that is another place where they had been found. So a lot of these discoveries have come up over the years. So you've had findings throughout the centuries of these giants, and people are still uncovering them to this day. Now, this is a giant that was uncovered by archaeologists in Bulgaria. And this one is said to be 6,500 years old. Now, how true that part is, I'm not completely sure, but it was said that that's how old the particular one is. Another one found in China, and this one is said to be 5,000 years old. So then we have a map here that shows Giant Human King's graveyard discovered in Indiana. So Indiana, within the United States, also had some people had found some giants in the United States as well. So then here's another article that reads, Traces of Giants Found in Desert, Los Angeles, August the 4th. A retired Ohio doctor has discovered relics of an ancient civilization whose men were of, I want to say that might say 8 or 9 feet tall in the Colorado Desert near the Arizona, Nevada, California line. An associate said today, let me scroll up so I can read this a little bit. Howard E. Hill of Los Angeles, speaking before the Transportation Club, disclosed that several well-preserved mummies were taken yesterday from the caverns in an area roughly 180 miles square, extending through the much of southern Nevada, from Death Valley, California, across the Colorado River and to Arizona. Hill said the discoverer is Dr. F. Bruce Russell, retired Cincinnati physician who stumbled on the first several tunnels in 1931, soon after coming west and deciding to try mining for his health. So that was another discovery. And of course, guys just heard the Colorado Desert near Arizona, Nevada, California borderline. So I'm going to answer one of the questions too. Is there anyone that was alive that was actually seen that we can know for sure that they have been accounted as a giant? So some of you may remember Robert Waldo, and he is another giant figure that was very popular in the early 1900s, and not too early because he was born February 22nd, 1918, and he passed away July 15th, 1940. And he was also known as Alton Giant and the Giant of Illinois. So I guess Alton was born and raised in Illinois, of the suburb of St. Louis, Missouri. He reached about 8 feet tall in height, and he weighed 439 pounds. And he only lived to be 22 years old, so he didn't see very much of his life. But at an early age, he was very tall, and he was much taller than his parents. His father standing, and you could tell his father was not as tall as him, of course. He only looked like he was still about in his 5 feet something. But he is a very well-known figure within that time frame to be known as a giant. And of course, people gawked and stared at him and wanted to take pictures because he was not a normal height, as we would consider a man to be a normal height. Some men fall into the 5 foot, maybe 6 foot category. But when you start going over 6 feet, people kind of start marveling at how tall you are. And we have some more articles titled Indian Skeletons Found Under Oklahoma Mound. Now, you guys know we just talked about that recently as well. Oklahoma was another one of the places where you could find a lot of articles about people finding giants, or anything that would pertain to. And I have another one here too. This one says prehistoric giant bones are found. Washington County mounds give up secrets of race that vanished 10,000 years ago. 49 skeletons are dug up by archaeologists. Height of the party found another trace they called an artifact, a place of sacred, the supreme deity, less pretentious than the main mound from this circular knob, 34 feet across, 2 feet height. The investigators exhumed arrow points, flint knives, bear tusk, and 2 copper heads, and only metal found in the entire excavation. An effort was made to keep the excavation secret until the party was well on with its works. The news spread, however. The mound's men have already been observed, probably by more people than they ever dreamed of. The bodies, it was evident, let me go down, were poured on different levels in the circle, horizontally face upward. The bones shelved between 11 separate layers of stone. There, 2 pictures placed as large hung earthen donut. One would have noticed bodies side by side and head to toe around the periphery of the huge gird ring. Let's go up a little bit. The flangs, of feet. It was covered with a small stone and lay on the back and measured 26 inches across the chest. All the skeletons seemed to have massive jaws, little chins, and strong teeth, which were polished, showed a gloss in the sunlight, indicating almost total absence of tartar. This proved, Fisher stated, that they apparently had massive chewing muscles, and that these ancient people were man-eaters. Never in all many discoveries of Indians, remarked Fisher, he has exhumed 445 bodies in his career. I have seen strong and well-preserved teeth such as these. So he said he never saw anything like that before, the teeth. To the east-west of the article, Fisher party discovered beneath debris, fallen trees, and clay ovens. These, it is believed, were used to bake the bodies before they buried. So that's what that one says. And that was the article, Prehistoric Bones Are Found. So some of you may or may not recognize this next man. His name is Leonid Spanic or Stanyik. He is from the Ukraine, so he's Ukrainian, and he was also known as a giant. He was born August 5th, 1969, and he passed away in August of 2014. It has been said that he was 8 feet 5 inches tall, and he had an excessive growth after a brain surgery at the age of 13, which led him to large amounts of growth hormone, so they said. He suffered from giantism as well. But if you ever seen him before, some people kind of get him mixed up with Robert. A lot of times they'll put the names on the pictures. They'll mix the two of them up. But anyway, he is another one. And his shoes, there was a lot of custom everything made for him, of course, being his size. And I just love the picture of the older gentleman holding his shoes, because those snow boots are huge. So this next one is titled The World article, October 7th, 1895. That's right, 1895. So the 1800s, they found a 9 feet high. They said it's probably a California Indian, measured well, authenticated. Now they said the corpse was the biggest man ever lived that has dug up near San Diego, California. All that events, there is no satisfactory read or in ancient modern history of any human being nearly so tall. The mummy for such condition their remains were found. It is a person who would have been 9 feet in height. Now we know that the Smithsonian was involved in this as well. I'm going to read a little bit down. It says, so the accuracy estimated, there can no question the cadaver has been carefully inspected and measured by Professor Thomas Wilson, curator of the Department of Prehistoric Anthropology in the Smithsonian Institute, and by other scientists. The tape line even now registers the length from heel to top of the head at 8 feet 4 inches. The mummy that is of an Indian is almost certainly prehistoric, though its age is not certain and cannot be determined with any sort of accuracy. Historical records of the part of California where it was found go back to at least 250 years, and they make no mention of any gigantic stature. How much older the body may be must be left open to conjecture. Its preservation is no matter of surprise. So that was another really great finding, an article that existed within the 1800s, because some folks might want to, understand and know, okay, well, how much further does this go back? So we just, went from 1900s, 1800s, and I'm going to share this last one with you guys. This is from the 1700s, and this is another real live walking around man. His name is Patrick Cotter O'Brien, and he was born in 1760, and he passed away. He was born January 19th, 1760. He passed away September 8th, 1806. And he was verified of 8 feet tall or more. O'Brien was born in Kinsale County, Cork, Ireland. So this is all the way in Ireland. So Patrick Cotter, O'Brien, as his stage name in the sideshow circus. So he changed his last name to O'Brien, claiming descendants of the legendary gigantic Brian Boru. He also was known as Bristol Giant, the Irish Giant. So they're known for their giants over there in Ireland as well. But this was another guy, and this was in the 1700s. And of course, he struggled with giantism as well. It says it is believed that he died from the effects of him being so big. And of course, we all know that they state that they have more hormones, growth hormones, than the average man or female. But a lot of times they have stated that they found male giants. Although I do believe I have heard of 1 or 2 female that were discovered. But mainly I've only, seen and heard of them finding male giants. Now the Bible is very descriptive when it talks about giants and how they were formed through the angels eloping or having relations with Adam's daughters, or the females. So it doesn't seem impossible when you can actually see what height and size the angels might have been, and through their DNA mixing with human DNA, giants were created. So we at least get to see, and it's a real treat to actually get to see that some of these people do exist even up until this day. We're still seeing people that would be considered giants. But I thought this one was really interesting to go back and take a look. Patrick Cotter O'Brien in the 1700s, dealing with being a giant in those days and times. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Those that are listening, at least, those that are here with me, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. This is always for educational purposes. And thank you guys who are listening. Thank you for tuning in to Power Panel 365.